Hey Prue, how you doing? So got your work up here, got the Crest gum labels up here. Now, I shouldn't say labels, I should say packaging. You've got the outer packaging, but I want, well, I know you've got something up your sleeve here. And I think that I can't wait to see those wrappers, those inside wrappers with the informational graphics. I know I recommended that you put your, I think you've got some really super interesting illustrative techniques. And we've been watching that for weeks now. And well, I've been watching it for months now because I've had you for a couple of classes. And I think that I haven't seen your full blown illustrative work, but I can imagine. I think that your illustration is a something that we would choose in this case to exploit moving towards your final student portfolio. So hopefully you got something in store. I know you do. And of course, I don't need to remind you that, well, let me bring up my notes here, that you have a container and a package along with a well-designed list of contents. Okay, those are requirements for the brand extension, so keep that in mind. Do you have a well-designed list of contents, and is there a such thing of a list of contents in gum packaging? One container and one package. So, I mean, theoretically and technically, you have the container and you have the package, which would be the inside wrapper where you have those additional graphics on the inside. So that's I'm okay with that. The product emphasis leans towards the educational component as well as exploring the instructional side of packaging. So I'm thinking then again, that's where you have our surprise in store in your however you're going to handle these parameters and your inside of your gum wrappers. Okay. Want to show you something really quick, and to do so I have to jump out here for a second. Sorry about this. Here it is. I want to show you this. This is a production file for a die line, and this die line is actually quite similar to your die line. Now, the one thing I would like you to do is show these glue flaps and label them, and also give us a production file and then your final flat file. This would be the final flat file. So this would be what we would see just before this thing were to start to be folded. Now, theoretically, you're showing your fold lines, and that's awesome. But I would say right now in this file that looks like this is the actual final flat file, you wouldn't have fold lines on the file because those are indicating that those are printed on the work, and they're not. That's why this one has them in red. See the fold lines in red. This would be a production file because you have the cut lines, and then you have your score lines too, your fold lines. Technically, you could add your bleed lines, but we kind of all get it. We understand, the bleed lines go a quarter inch around, or I'm sorry, an eighth inch around the outer cut line. So, but I think that it would be great to show this production file with the red indicating the fold lines, and then show your final file without the fold lines at all, without any, but in your production file, label the score lines, the glue flaps, and the panels, and the cut and fold lines, right? Okay, enough of that. So, yeah, cool. Any one of these will work. Any one of these will work. I think that one thing I think is really worth mentioning is this. Now, think about how you're going to present these. Not in a three-dimensional way, not in a tactile way where somebody is actually handling these, but how are you going to handle them in your portfolio? Not specifically this portfolio per se, but moving this piece into your final portfolio. Make sure that it's something that you build that's going to be easy to photograph, easy to handle while you're trying to assemble it while photographing it. I hope that makes sense. So, nothing dangling from hooks on Ferris wheels, Ferris wheel structure. Do you see what I'm saying? Something that would be really easy to assemble, to show, to photograph. Okay, so for instance, I think one of the best examples I saw for this, giving an example for what I'm saying here is one of the posts before yours indicated a series of posters inside a box for the final portfolio. And I think that's a really, really cool idea. But as you can imagine, the posters get rolled up, they're inside the box. So you have to kind of plan the way you're going to photograph that you can't just take the posters out because they're going to be kind of rolled up on top of themselves. You see what I'm saying? So I don't know if you would have two sets of posters, one flat, one rolled, to get that effect, to shoot it like that. That would certainly be one option. But the reason I'm bringing this up is so that you have an idea of where I'm going with this in terms of the way to think about how you're going to present this work, this three-dimensional work, using photographs and making it kind of, making it easy on yourself. Good colors. Good job developing some branding. A little mark for yourself. That's awesome. And I can't wait to see where this goes. Awesome job. Any questions? Give me a holler. Thanks.